It took me a long time to put a smile on my face today. It was the nastiest weather on earth. It would have been nastier if it had switched to rain and snow. That would have been the worst. But we were all soaked at the last set. And in fact, I actually rang the bell. I got somebody to go with the last set with the horse I was supposed to go with. If you go to the yearling video, you can see the introduction to the yearling video is me talking about the horses on the track today. It was frigid. Well, you can hear the slush under the car. Just a nasty day. Tonight I'm going to race. You guys may have noticed I was down to drive horses at Northfield tomorrow night. I am going to Northfield to drive Yes and Tour de Lindy. Amy and I are going to leave tonight, leave a babysitter. We're going to leave tonight after Flamborough. I'd said in another video, the kids were a little lethargic all week. You know, a little, I got a headache, I got a sore throat. Ollie, just had an upset tummy all week. And in this day and age, as soon as you're not 100%, obviously, immediately you have COVID, right? It has to be what it is. So apparently nobody gets the flu anymore. Everybody in the McDonald household is fine now. And we have been. So, heading over to across the border tonight, because tomorrow there's a big mall in Buffalo, right? The Galleria Mall, I think it's called. I think it's called that. Huge mall. Now, I joke with my wife, calling her the Grinch or whatever at Christmas. She loves Christmas, but she, like I think most moms, right, gets stressed out at Christmas time. Plus, Amy doesn't like the Christmas crowds. I like Christmas crowds because everyone's happy, right? Everybody's happy. Everybody's walking around, and maybe the last 2 years kind of sucked some of the life out of Christmas holidays, especially this year in Ontario. Now they're saying there's restrictions again. Don't get me started. I'm not one of those people, but anyway, it's another video that I'll never make. So we're going to Buffalo tonight. We're going to stay overnight. We're going to go shopping in the morning. Going to go drive. Yes, and Tour de Lindy Sunday night. Then we'll get home on Sunday evening late, and that'll be that. I would assume at that point we're finished our Christmas shopping. All the horses have won, obviously. so it'll be a great Monday, hopefully. All this leading up to what is going to be really cool, the open house on Christmas Eve. I know there was a lot of our employees that were a little hesitant, right? Because it's Christmas Eve. And a couple of our clients actually said, well, one client in particular said, well, I'm on the road all Christmas Eve with my wife, my family. Wow. You can watch it on your phone, right? It's going to be different, but it's going to be cool, especially after what I saw today. To go back and look at the yearling video, I was so pleased with a couple of horses. Again, told you guys last week there's going to be a lot of movement in what, now we don't, obviously not going to make the top 10 lists this time of year, but a lot of movement in the horses that I'm keeping a close eye on. A couple of horses I want to go with to get them under control. Landing Pad's got a ton of speed, made a couple of breaks today. We're going to go and put the hobbles on him and tinker with him all week, and people might say, oh, hobbles, you didn't do that this time of year. We've had hobbles on horse for 2 weeks. Tactical Tactor had them on this week, and just to get his head on straight. And I wasn't in a hurry, but I really was surprised he picked today to show up, right? And what a sight it was from sitting behind him. That moment when the horses get it, right, is pretty cool. And to see that horse go out and work in such inclement weather as well as he did was really impressive, really impressive. So obviously, for the naysayers that thought Globetrotting was done, or she was sick, or she was tired, or turn her out, now you know the difference. This isn't an easy game. And I know when I get off the bike with Peanut or with Brave World, I said, Jesus, this horse needs a rest. That's not to say that I knew going in, right? It could have ended the exact same way that Globetrotting did, with a resurgence and a big win. But it doesn't always work that way, and I want to see what they're doing now with Globetrotting. I didn't think that she was tired, but obviously I can take James's instruction when it comes to her. Hey, how'd she feel? Feels tired. Okay, out she goes. We didn't have that conversation last night. How was she? A Little pacey at the gate. She's done that lots of times in her life. Little pacey when she really started to rev up late in the stretch. She's done that lots. Remember, she made that break on Yannick. The straightaways is where she has troubles sometimes. I think what we might do is switch to a pin bar on her. I've wanted to for a long time, but I've been hesitant to. I think this week we will. But James said, loaded with power. Now, take note, her liver count is still twice what it's supposed to be. Twice. It was 72 the other day, 35, maybe 40. 35 or 40 is what listed on every blood work. Every blood machine or veterinary clinic may have different levels. And when it came to this level, I'm pretty sure 0 to 35 was the acceptable norms, if I'm not mistaken. Hers was at 72 last week, so still quite high. It takes time to get it down. It doesn't mean they can't race good, but it is hard, and it's not an easy thing for them to do, and you will see them look much better as they come down. That liver count will come down. The way she raced the other night is a clear indication that, one, she's feeling better, and two, it's starting to creep down. She was awesome and pretty cheap. I'd said to James, listen, I said, of all the humans on earth, I don't have to say this to you, but I'm going to anyway. Don't drive her like she's 3 to 5, right? We knew, and James was worried because we'd schooled her on Monday. I knew she was plenty strong. We schooled her in 57 on Monday. She got up and beat our other horse, our new horse, LD's Patrick, in the mud. 57 in the mud, last time 56 in a piece with the earplugs in. James was worried that maybe we worked her too hard close to the race with her liver high. That was a concern. But we still have to, if we are going to race her, we have to make sure she's race ready. There's no point in just bringing the horses to the races, you know, living on prayers and dreams and hope. The horses have to be prepared and ready to go. So Jason did a great job. We decided to bring her and Patrick over to school them on Monday in anticipation of Patrick getting in a week from Monday, which did not happen. He'll get in Thursday, which actually might be a blessing in disguise because the other horse that actually raced pretty good, whose liver count was higher than Globetrotting's, I'm talking about So and Sue, she raced last night. James said right line hard, which she's done all summer to me. I was so surprised when I brought her here. We went to race her first start, and James said, no, she wasn't on the right line that bad. I drove her in Dayton, Northfield. I don't know if I drove her at the Meadows. For sure, I watched her race in the Meadows. Always on the right line hard. It could be a number of things. I always thought the biggest culprit was her mouth. Her knees are a suspect. They do bother her quite a bit. But with her not being able to race on Thursday, because Patrick will likely get in, gives us an opportunity to take her to the vet, take her back up to the veterinarian. She did have a curb that we tried to treat, did the best we could the other day. It probably needs cryo. We can do that on Monday, right? We can look at her knees again on Monday. They may need to be done again. Sometimes doing their knees and coming back a week later doing them again in that course, that medication course, it helps a lot more. So that may need to be done. Is there something else going on there? Now, Cindy said she points her left front sometimes. There's a lot going on, but none of it any indication of something bothering her on the right side. I still believe it's in her mouth, but we'll take another look at Sue again, just to make sure she's okay. But she raced great last night. I was very happy with the way she raced and the way James raced her. Might have cinched her hobbles up a little last night. I thought they looked a little tighter. We'll be able to let them out a little bit as we get going with her. The Wine and Roses series almost didn't go. Yeah, you may not know what I'm talking about. The Wine and Roses was a late closure that's written for February. So and Sue fits that Wine and Roses series, so we put her in there. I'd like to keep her as fresh as I could. There's not enough time, I don't think, and I don't know that turning her out would help because she's such a loon. You know, it's not like you can just jog her back and train her into shape. She's a lunatic. You know, you would have to really just jog her 2 weeks and gallop her because she's crazy. So I think what we'll do is we'll stay the course that we're on right now. We have the vet look at her again. If there's any concerns, then we'll make, if we have to change our direction with her, then we will. Otherwise, I'm going to stay the course with Sue right now. But she was good the other night also. Third, just beat the wire. 57 last quarter, 29, but looked a lot better. I was very happy with the way she raced. As I said, LD's Patrick didn't get in this week. He'll race probably on Thursday. We'll enter him and then go a slow mile with him on Tuesday just to make sure he's okay. She probably should get James. A lot of people said, well, you schooled him, you should drive him. I could, but I think we're gonna list James on LD's Patrick. Here's the thing. I can get the horses around and I can win races, right? I know where the winner's circle is at every track. James is probably the hottest driver in North America right now. He's my brother. He does a great job. And somebody said, well, last time he drove that horse, he run. We made some significant changes with that horse. Not to say that they're all going to be like he was good the other day and he's going to stay great. Some of the changes we made were on the edge of maybe they could put pressure on places. The horse, we put aluminums on him up front. Not the greatest thing for his front feet and his knees. So we have to monitor that quite closely. So maybe it might make more sense just to get James to go a slow mile with him here at the farm on Tuesday to see how he feels. I think the horse is good. If James for some reason can't drive him on Thursday, I'll be happy to. But at the end of the day, I'm going to lean as your partner, as somebody who's not blind to what is going on. James is going to win the O'Brien this year, and he is the leading driver in Canada and is the hottest driver in Canada, so why would we not be using him on a horse? And he might know the horse, and he may have made a break on him, but James is a smart enough guy. I'll simply say to him, listen, forget you ever drove this horse. It's a new horse. Don't worry about what happened before. Drive the one that you're sitting behind now, and I think that's all that's going to need to be said. Super excited to go with Yes tomorrow, see what's going on with him. Like Globetrotting, I find it really hard to believe that Yes is tired, but he might be, and if he is, we can race him quite simply. And then I want to get a look at Tour de Lindy, right? Wasn't very happy with his race in the final. You guys obviously saw the same race I did. Just looked like a horse that was out of sorts a little bit. Changed a few things on him. Not quite as many as we could have, or I maybe wanted to, but a few things. And we'll see how he feels heading into Sunday. If we got to make some changes after that, that's fine too. Keep in mind, we didn't just claim him and say, okay, we need to win the final, and then he's useless to us. No, he's a nice horse. We have $25,000 for a nice horse, and we're going to continue to race him. Speaking of horses being tired, and then the opposite, being tired, being fresh, we have Rose Above It, who qualified the other day. Now, not a fast mile. We'll race him in the maiden. He may need a race or two, I don't know, but I was very happy with the way he behaved. He's turned into a nice little horse to drive. And then a horse that actually schooled quite a bit better than Rose Above It qualified was Prairie Fire. He's going to qualify at the first offering. Now, he can't qualify on Christmas Eve, but he can qualify on the Monday. He looked very, very good schooling. I suspect his qualifier is going to look good too. Somebody said, well, he went faster than Rose Above It. I said, well, first off, two different things. It was quite windy when Rose Above It went. Secondly, Rose Above It's not as good as Prairie Fire, I don't think. Close, but not quite. I think Prairie Fire is a bigger, stronger animal. Got a bigger kind of engine in him. Rose Above It's just a really handy horse. I think the easiest way to put it was we sold Duke Dio because he couldn't quite do in the classes we needed him to. He just wasn't quite there. Rose Above It is a good second, maybe two faster than him. So at worst, we have a horse coming that can do in the very class that poor Duke couldn't. What else do we got here? Go ahead. Yeah, so when we were talking about tired horses, we're talking about getting our horses in the place they need to be. Right? If our horses are tired, like I raced High Gear No Fear and Brave World the other night, they both felt exhausted. Now, it's hard to get a read on Brave World because anytime you put him in a position to get defeated early, he just shuts off. It's like a default. He just goes to sleep. Goes into a turtle shell. But he did feel, you look at his lines, it's his 31st or 32nd start the other night. The horse got to be tired. He's been racing all year. And then with the other horse, High Gear No Fear, yeah, I wish I had a bottom and he was fresh and he just exploded out of the gate and we did great with him. Much like another horse we'll talk about in a minute. The big guy that we raced on Monday from Harry's barn that we bought off Nancy Tactor. What is wrong with me? I can't think of his name. Losing my mind. But there's a total opposite situation, right? One horse was racing hard all year, but is still fresh and looks very, very fresh. The other horse isn't. Raced hard all year and is kind of beat up, chewed up a little bit. That's what racing in those aged horse ranks will do to any horse. You'll chew them up a little bit and grind them into the ground. And now, speaking of that horse on Monday, James isn't here. He's gone away for a few days, so I'm going to drive him on Monday, and it's really bugging the hell out of me now. What's wrong with my head? Can't think of the horse's name. It's going to bug me so much in a minute. But there's a perfect example of horses that are tired and horses that are not. And you know, what you can do and how you can mitigate that. And the only way to fix Locatelli, my God, I'm an idiot. The only way to mitigate that is to turn them out, right? There's nothing I can do to help High Gear No Fear. Yes, his liver's high, but there's a part of me that thinks that maybe these livers jumping and things is a component of that. Maybe that there's some fatigue involved. It could be. Because I noticed a lot of the horses that we had troubles with were, you know, maybe past the precipice of their racing season. Maybe they are approaching that expiry date, that you know, best before date, and it may help the livers jump up a little bit. I can't say that that's accurate. I have no idea. When I look at a horse like High Gear No Fear, we couldn't get this horse healthy. We couldn't get him stable. Then his liver jumped. We couldn't get the liver count down. He trained pretty good this week. Much like Globetrotting, schooled in 56 and looked great, this horse trained at the farm and looked very good, but quite a different situation when we got them to the track. Globetrotting jogged. 54 last quarter, 27-4. High Gear No Fear got beat by a bunch of claimers, cheap claimers. So, quite a different scenario. It's very subjective, you know, when it comes to these horses, when they're good, when they're bad, and how long it takes them to recover. I had turned him out, and the lady had said, "When do you want him back?" Give me a call when he looks like a horse. Give me a call when he's put on 100 pounds, looks healthy, is sharp, dragging you out to the paddock. That's when I want him back. So, that's exactly what's going on right now with a number of these horses. Brave World, Don't Believe Me, Just Watch, and now High Gear No Fear out to the field. But we've been trying to replace those horses, right? Eldis Patrick, we brought him in. He looks good. If he was a baseball team, I'd say he's a middle reliever and looks pretty good from what I can see. The January sale, mixed sale, is coming up at the Meadowlands. We'll be looking to replace some other horses in our midst. Now, I had a call from somebody the other day, you know, Eldis Patrick. They said, why didn't I get a chance to buy him? Well, you did. Everybody did. There just wasn't a ton of shares to be had off the bat. There was only 22 or 23 shares up for auction because we had a lot of people that had asked for the shares in Eldis Patrick right away, before anybody even knew that we had bought him. Right? They wanted a horse. They wanted to be involved in a racehorse. Who do we have next? Now I'm bidding on this horse. I want him. Okay. So when it all shook down, there's 23 shares left. And I had somebody message me, not the day after the sale, but 2 days after the sale, and say, well, I didn't get an opportunity. Sure you did. Everybody did. I put it on the video. Some people can't watch all my videos, but it's not much I can do. And then the person said something that was very interesting to me. They said, well, you know, it's not very fair that you get these people that will go in and buy the shares up and then relist them on the private market for a profit. I never really thought about it because my job is to sell the shares, right? You buy the horse and sell the shares, train the horse, race the horse. Everybody hopefully has fun. Now, there is that component of the stable where people do buy the shares and resell them. I get that. It was funny. I went to, I'll say it because my son doesn't watch these videos, but I went to buy a PS5, right, for my boy. And I didn't want to. I hate the video games. He's always in front of them. But I was a kid too, right? And I played them nonstop. And I caught myself saying, you know, did you do your homework? You know, why do you have to sit in front of that foolish game all the time? Oh my God, it was exactly what my father used to say to me when I was a kid. So I go to the store, buy a PS5, go up to Best Buy, Stone Road. And I walk in, I said, any shot you guys have any PS5? She goes, 0%. She goes, honestly, they're gone within an hour. She goes, most of them are sold to resellers. I said, what? She goes, yeah, people will buy them and post them for sale online. Make $100. It wasn't until right then I'm like, oh, I see how that's so frustrating now. I understand why it is. So I guess the answer to me, to you, if you're out there saying, you know, you're upset because people do this practice at the stable, is simple. If the PS5 is worth $100 more to me and it makes sense to purchase it, then I'll buy it. If a horse is purchased and somebody's offering the horse up for sale and that share is worth what you believe it's worth, then you should buy it. But as far as, I don't want to get to a position where we're telling people you can't buy more than 5 shares because I don't want people reselling their shares. Do I really want to get to that place as the owner and the operator of the stable? I would hope that most people go in and buy the horse to race the horse, but I'm not stupid. I know that there's people out there that buy them and are looking to resell them. What am I supposed to do? Ban them from the site? I mean, at the end of the day, this is thestable.ca. We built the stable not for any of that stuff. We built the stable to bring new people into the industry, have fun, watch their horses race. We have a large group of people now, right? So, I guess the easiest way is to watch the videos. Watch all the videos is the easiest way to know when there's a horse coming. Keep in mind, there are some horses we're bidding on right now, right? Couple on gate. We probably won't get them. They're going to go for too much money right now on gate. But we will be going to the sale in New Jersey on January 17th. I will be present at that sale, at the facility. We're going to be looking to buy a horse. I'd like to buy another Locatelli. Wouldn't that be nice? Man, he's turned out to be a nice horse. And I'm going to stop you right now before anybody gets any ideas. I am driving Locatelli on Monday. He likely can win on Monday. And I don't really care if he breaks the track record on Monday. I'm not driving him next week. James will be driving him. So I know there's a lot of people out there. Somebody had sent me a message, said, what about Jody for Locatelli? No, I still possess an A driver's license, and I can get the horse around too. I'll drive Locatelli on Monday. But win, lose, or draw, it will be listed as James the following week. And I have no problem with that. I don't really want to go drive. Here, I want to go drive Swan's Honey in that? That make any sense to you? Think I want to drive in that? No, I don't. But it's my job also. I want to make sure we go over and get the job done if we can. So, in regards to our stable, look, I lost my opening sheet. Oh my God, I'm a train wreck right now. Things I wanted to talk about. Here we go. So, as I said, very pleased with Globetrotting. I know we had a tough week, guys. Listen, I'm not oblivious to what's going on. It was a crummy week, tough week, but we are trying to transition and trying to get a firm grip on what our stable looks like. I'm left trying to get the horses prepared for the open house and looking as good as they can for right now. But I also have to understand that we have horses to race. And I wish we had horses to race every single day of the week. We don't right now. We have a number of our 3-year-olds. All of our 2-year-olds are back in right now, I believe. Yes, we don't have a 2-year-old left in the field right now. So they're all back. They're all going. A number of our 3-year-olds are getting closer to the track. I'll tell you, another horse I saw today that looked very good was No Free Lunch. So he's made his way back from that coffin bone injury, that fracture. Healed perfectly. So great job by Nellie and Harry. He's coming along nicely. He will be ready for the Ontario Boys, I believe, series mid or end January. He'll be ready to go. What else is Harry working on there? Resolute Bay looked good on the track. Jason had him on the track yesterday, and I saw them jogging him today. He looked good also. Grace, I saw Grace in the barn today. She looks good. Aguilera AM is back in. She looks good. So a number of these horses are back in and getting ready to come to the track, but there is that transition, right, from putting the babies away to buying some horses to racing some horses. The ones that have been racing all summer, like Brave World, like High Gear No Fear, whether it was for us or not, a little tired, need a break. Peanut needed a rest also. We are going to continue to fill that void best we can. So, very pleased with Globetrotting last night. She showed some real resiliency and bouncing back when her blood still isn't 100%. So and Sue raced well, finished third, beat what, a half length, the nose for second, neck for second, raced really good. Really anticipating watching LD's Patrick and Rose Above It race next week. Prairie Fire qualify the week after that. Super interested in getting to Ohio to take a look for myself on the ground, on the front line with Tour de Lindy on Sunday night. And yes, you'll note that I'm not staying to drive Stonebridge Simba for the simple reasons timing. I can't wait till 10:30 at night and come home and be home at 3 o'clock. So Amy and I are leaving directly after Tour de Lindy's race to come back home. Puts us home around 12:30, 1 o'clock. As I said, we continue to work through our staff, our horses, our workforce, so to speak, to see who's tired, who's ready, where they need to race, where they need to go. If there needs to be some changes made, we will. Horse like Compass Rose fits that race in Northfield. 10-horse field draws a 7-hole. I can tell you how that's going to end. Not good for us. So if she's not going to be competitive in that field, we don't have anything at the Meadows right now. It might be an opportunity. The door might be open there with all those short fields to slide over there and do some damage. That's a possibility also. But most importantly, two takeaways from this week. I'm super excited and can't wait. One for Christmas, but right before Christmas, right before Santa Claus arrives, is the open house. That is going to be super cool this week. And then obviously Christmas Day for everybody. So regardless of this foolish variant or lockdowns, restrictions, where you happen to be, whether you're in Florida and it's free range, or whether you're in Ontario where they're starting to clamp down a little bit with this Omicron floating around, you know what? It's Christmas, everybody. Everybody try to be happy. Hopefully you and your loved ones are healthy, and I know we all aren't. I'm very fortunate and very aware that regardless of what I say, I'm lucky to be healthy. My family is, and that's what we all should be focused on. So Merry Christmas from me to you. I say it, and I don't think I can say it enough. Without you, there is no Stable. There's no thestable.ca. And I truly appreciate everything. So a great year for us in 2021. Hopefully a better year ahead. But for right now, open house is next week. And then most importantly, Merry Christmas, everyone.